Just trying to get it up on the TV here. Not sure. Oh, there it is. Yes. All right. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Let me know if you can hear me.
It's been a while.
It's been a month.
Whew.
Live chat. There we go. Victor, how are ya? 2:40 p.m. Oh, that was your comment from 2:40 p.m. You're on here early. All right. Craig, sound working well? Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay, we got you up on the TV there. We got Ward here doing our camera jobby. I'm going to flip you around and get this set up. And that is the topic of today. Kyle, how are you? Nice to see you. We've got the Bronco. That's what's been going on. I'm going to do this a little bit different. Rocket Pop Profit, just a big scale Bronco lover from Texas. Very cool. All right, I'm going to flip you around. We're going to put this over here. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can actually see the opening comments. Oh, sorry about all the shakiness. There we go. Oh, maybe I'll sit on the ground. There. Woo. All right. Sometimes you just can't prepare this kind of stuff. So, welcome back to the live. I can see your guys' comments. Ward's looking at the TV up there. And it's been a month since we did a live here from the shop. 2 weeks ago, I was going to do one, and I just honestly was not in the mood. That was it. I was just like, I don't feel like doing a live today, and that was it. So it's been a month. The last one we did was the recap from Jet Power, so thank you for tuning in today. Obviously, today's video was the Picaro 2.0 final video. Joseph, you're asking how many videos until the Bronco was finished? Well, I thought it was going to be 2 more videos. It's actually 4 more videos. So we've got video 3, which is coming out on Wednesday, video 4, which will be Saturday, video 5, which will be next Wednesday, video 6, which will be the next Saturday after that. So yeah, it's I thought it was 2 videos to finish this thing, and then we got into the details and whatnot. And honestly, this plane has been way more work than I anticipated. The wiring on this, the wings and everything, was way more than I was thinking it was going to be. And today we've spent our entire day chasing gremlins. So we've got 2 gremlins to deal with. Kyle, you actually only know about one of them. The second gremlin that we came up with was something we'll talk about here in a second. But overall, very cool plane. This thing is going to be a blast to fly. We just did the CG on this thing. There's no batteries in here, which is why it's like crazy light on the nose. And yeah, it's going to be an absolute monster to fly. It's cool. It's huge, and it's kind of ugly. Most people that don't know anything about aviation, anybody that's come in the shop that's been like, wow, that's a really unique looking plane. So take that for what it is. But yeah, very, very cool. So I'm happy with everything. Obviously, you guys are seeing it way in advance. Yeah, you guys are seeing it way in advance of the video series. So like I said, there's 4 more videos coming out. So 2 weeks of videos starting on Wednesday. And so gremlin number 1, one of the speed controls went kaput. And that's what I've spent 6-7 hours chasing today. I got the engines mounted. I was going to do a test run on them before I started working on the cowls, and fired up the engines, motors, and one of them was spinning, one of them was not. Started chasing things and just chasing and chasing and chasing and checking, and 6-7 hours later I finally figured out it's the speed control that's not working properly. So that's gremlin number 1. Gremlin number 2 is this plane has, lots of people have reported that the gear has issues. So what we did was today, once we got the gremlins dealt with, basically had it sitting on the stand, on the Lukey stand, and just cycled the gear over and over and over again. I went into the programming. There's actually a cycle counter on the Chikoi LGC22, which is what we're using in this, not the stock controller. And I think we were up to like 45 when we did our last round. So there's probably 50 cycles on this gear, and the mains stopped working. So if you've built a Bronco and you know what JP motors to replace these ones with, please let me know. I know I can find that answer somewhere, but yeah, the gear on this thing is now kaput. So we need to figure that out as well. RC Flyer 2001, if you like flying the Bronco, I have plans. If you would like to build one from the plans only. No. Thank you.
No. Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah, David Snyder said the plane's way more involved than people realize. Absolutely. David, the wiring, and you'll see this in the build video because I'm not going to start taking this apart, but the wiring alone in this center wing section is bananas. It's so wild. Hey, Jay, oh yeah, you sent me an email, I think, the other day as well. So, yeah, and Jay, your name comes up as RC Flyer 2001, so, oops. All right, so, hey, Canada, nice. Yes, we are in Canada, and it's starting to get darn cold outside. So I think that's pretty much it. We don't have any questions. From Joe, to date I've never figured out a JP replacement for the gear. So we may need to order 2 more replacement motors for the gear. That sucks.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, we'll worry about that because we got to wait for a speed control anyways. So Joe from RC Custom 3D Printing, he dropped off the cockpit yesterday. The cockpit's sitting right there. Beautiful, beautiful work. And David said yes and keep spares. Okay, so when we order, Kyle, when we order new motors for the gear, we're probably going to order a few extras. We've got a giveaway coming up in this build series as well. So you guys are getting a pre-look at the giveaway. And Joe from RC Custom 3D Printing has gone over and above. So the giveaway is not in this video. It will be during one of the Bronco upcoming videos. And that will be, I'll give you guys the pre on this. The giveaway for this will be not Wednesday, not Saturday, the following Wednesday. So a week and a half from today. So Joe from RC Custom 3D Printing, he's on here right now. He's doing the giveaway on the fueling station. This is cool. It's kind of a simplified one. Works for gas, diesel, Caro, Jet A, and nice cut, laser cut wood box with the what's this called? I know it's the motor, but I forget the brand. Anyways, this is like the brand of motors that is the best for fuel systems. Graylor, thank you. Yes, Graylor pump.
Knew he would
Brain fart. It's been a long day. Yes, thank you. So it comes with a Graylor pump, and I think these retail for Joe. I'll let you put it in the comments section. I think they're like 220-ish or something. So very cool. Variable speed. So you've got high, low to off with a dial. And then you've got in and out as well. So thank you, Joe, for donating that. And that giveaway is going to be, yes, Canadian, to something Canadian. The giveaway for that is only going to be people in North America. I don't want to be shipping. I did a giveaway at some point this year, and I think I shipped something way far away, and it was a lot of money for the shipping. So we're going to do that in North America. And I think that is everything. So yeah, that's going to be in an upcoming Bronco video. And I'll just check the comments here, and then I'm going to take you guys through this. So that fuel system right there is $202 Canadian. So that's like $5 American. Cool. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to flip you guys around. There we go. Oh, can't post a link unless I make him a mod. Well, I can do that. We've got the power. Let me just flip you around here so you're not staring at nothing, even though you probably don't want to stare at my face. Okay, Joe, we are going to add you as a moderator. I can put you in a timeout, but can put users in a timeout. Joe, I'm going to make you a managing moderator. There you go. So I think you can put a comment up or something. I don't know. Let me know if that works. Yeah, so here's the Bronco. Whoa. There's really not a lot to see. Not that it's intentionally done this way. The CG, so we were just doing the CG tonight before we started the live. And this is all going to be covered. So thank you, Kyle, for that. Emailing the link for the landing gear. I appreciate that. Cool. So this point right here with the stock jigs is 5.5 inches. That's the front of the wing tube. The range of CG on this plane, if you go to the back of the wing tube, that's right about there. That's 6.5 inches. The range is actually back to 8 inches. So we use the jigs. It gives you a good flying point. And our batteries were sitting kind of in this area here. So I want to get them back a little bit. And yeah, so there's the center part. It's very clean looking. Our flight batteries are not in there yet. We're just doing a special thing up for them. But yeah, so there's the inside. And this plug right here is for the pilots, right there. And all of the guts and everything are in the underneath the center wing section. Here is the cockpit. Oh, David, that CG at the front is perfect. Awesome, because that's where everything worked out just beautifully. So with the batteries in that kind of rear position. So we just finished up the cockpit, gluing the canopy glass on over the past 2 days, and that turned out beautiful as well. So thank you, Joe, for doing that up. And there is the underside. So this is the leads for our pilots that have the moving heads. And this plug plugs into that MPX connector in the center of the front board. This is so long because you can leave this plugged in to here, and then you can just take that cockpit out and just put it on the ground beside the aircraft and still manage the batteries. So the last thing we were working on tonight was getting these batteries installed. Now, we did up these battery holders quite a few videos ago. And the problem with these guys is I was initially just going to take those and put them right in this area. The downside is if we glue them down, screw them down, and we need access to our fasteners holding our gun pods, that is not possible. So I was doing some brainstorming, and this is the idea we came up with. So we've got a piece of 1/8 aircraft ply. This is a lot of batteries. I don't even know how much that weighs, but it is very heavy. And we're going to have a keyhole in the plate right in the center about here with a fastener mounted in the fuselage. So when you take these batteries in and out, you're just going to slide the whole tray in. I mean, you can undo the Velcro if you want, but you can slide the whole tray in. There's going to be 2 fasteners here, 2 or 3 fasteners at the front. And that's our battery system. So let's actually weigh this thing. I'm going to flip you around, Ward. Okay. Give you the camera. Okay. If I had to guess, that's more than 6 pounds. Because it is really stinking heavy.
Arnold K. Langholm says small 2-packs.
Oh my gosh. So 4,700 grams, so that'll be over 10 pounds. That's not a, that's not a
calculator.
It's been a long day. All right, so 4778 divided by 454. So 10 and a half pounds for the batteries for this assembly right there.
That's a lot of weight.
That's a lot of weight in batteries. So the point of this, though, I'll show you guys if you want to go over on that side. The point of this is obviously to make the battery tray removable to access those fasteners. But if you really want to, you can either take the batteries out from the holders individually, or you could take out this entire assembly. So the assembly fits in there, just fits in. And it's going to sit right about there. So it can either come out as a whole assembly like we just had it, or you can undo the Velcros, pull each battery out. Either way is going to be totally fine. And then our plugins, just like that. So yeah, so that is the battery management that I came up with, because they needed to be removable, fortunately and unfortunately. So
Echo Smoke wants to know if you can weigh the cockpit. He's curious about it.
yeah, I can weigh that for sure. Obviously, it'll be the whole assembly, right? The cockpit is it's not heavy, but it's not light. Obviously, the pilots weigh a fair bit too, so that's where a lot of the weight comes in. So this one is 1,700 grams, so it's actually not that bad. So 1702, come on, 1702 divided by 454. So that whole assembly as is 3.75 pounds.
Sheldon says you should get 12 minutes flight with all that charge.
Well, 8,000 milliamp packs, yeah, they're monstrous. But the nice thing is it balances out perfect, so which is good. Yeah, so we have the battery stuff figured out. The other thing we have to do still is get our surfaces adjusted, and that'll basically be the plane wrapped up, with the exception of our gremlins we have to deal with. So, but pretty stinking cool plane. The lights are incredible. We can turn the lights on for you guys as well. Give you guys a sneak peek of that.
I think they'll like that.
And
they were awesome.
Yeah, the cameras never do it justice though.
No, they don't.
But we'll let's turn the lights on and we'll do that. I got the.
Okay.
Just hold that camera still there, big guy. All right, so.
Hello, Magic. Happy flying. Flight mode 1.
Okay, so plane is getting turned on. You'll notice the gear door servos are very noisy. All right, so we've got all of the lights on except the nose light. So you've got the belly flasher, and I think on my phone this shows up better than my my camera for recording. Yeah, those are way brighter in the camera, I think.
Yeah.
In this, like in the phone camera. That flasher up top. Other wing has the white light and green light, or red light. And then we've got the nose light, which is on a 3-position switch for now, which is right there. So, and I couldn't just surface mount the nose light. I ended up building a whole enclosure for it and the lens and everything. It looks way better. We'll just turn this thing off. And I'll show you the light that we did on the nose. So we've got it set up on a 3-position switch, and that the intent of that is because we can change it to do different things. Have to do a little bit of paint touch up, but that's a clear lens over top of it. And we made the lens, that's all covered in the videos coming up. So turned out really nice. The other option is you could just take this Unilight and just surface mount it, but that would be not good.
Yeah, it wouldn't look great.
No, it wouldn't. And this is the actual OV-10 Bronco. That's basically the scale version of what it looks like. So yeah, so there she is. Very nice plane. A lot of work, but very nice.
It should be able to just float in the air.
I think so. I don't know how much it weighs, but I don't even know if we'll end up weighing it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's going to be a nice flyer for sure. All right. Did the tanks work out? Joe said yes, the tanks worked out good. Joe did up 2 drop tanks for the wings for us, which are these guys here. And they turned out very nice. So these guys, he did them up and they mount on the standard missile rails. So the stock missiles are these guys right here. And Joe did up the custom drop tanks to essentially just mount on the stock missile rails. So I'll show you those, what they look like. We'll get them in kind of the right spot. So that's where they mount. Right
Awesome.
there. Yeah.
That looks really good.
Same fastener system. So you basically do your 3mm or 4mm Allen key through the underside, and it just screws in place. So yeah, super cool.
And you fill them up with batteries, and then you can fly for even longer.
You could. They wouldn't stay on very well, but because those pylons are not designed to carry much weight, so not functional. Put it that way. Not functional. Yeah, so that's the Bronco, everybody. Turned out very nice. Happy with it. The finishing on it is outstanding. Joe, you did a great job on it. Looks very good. So we've got a couple little things to change, but she is almost complete. Yeah.
And pack up time.
Yeah, pack up time. Although we need some more bubble wrap for pack up. We've run out of bubble wrap here at the shop. Surprisingly, we actually have. So we need some planes to show up, so we have packing material to pack planes with. And no more throwing out packing material. We need to keep everything. So.
Well, we might have storage space for it.
Yeah. So anyways, that's basically the gist of the Bronco. What else? Picaro's done. Picaro's up there. The next thing on the list after the Bronco is the Super Bandit, which is way up top. I don't think we're going to do a video on that. That'll just be a project like the Ultra Bandit we did, the orange one. And that's an old plane. Everything's getting torn out of it and redone. Maybe I'll do a video on it I'm sure some people would be interested in it, but that's next in the queue. And then after those guys is our F3 whatever plane over there, the glacial plane. I forget the name of it.
What do we have coming in?
Yeah, what's that thing called? I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, that plane over there, the really light F3 SAJ plane. So, don't know what it's called. No idea. Let me just see the comments here.
I think most of it was just asking, what's the next batch of builds coming in?
Oh, there we go. Cool. Did the tanks work out? Yes, perfect. Awesome. Hey, Fred, thanks for tuning in. Sheldon, lots of people buy used planes. It might be good to see an overhaul of one. Everybody should hit the thumbs up button. Dang it!
I've been saying that for ages. I want you to do mine.
But honestly, sometimes it's nice just to have a project and not have to do any video because you could just put your head down, put some music on, and work. So Sometimes it is nice not to have to video anything. But I get it. It's kind of cool to go over that stuff, take an old plane and redo it. So we have already pulled all the servos out of that plane to send back to the original owner. But all the wiring's coming out, all of the airlines are coming out, all the tray system and everything's getting redone. So,
are you going to change it to electric gears or keep it as air gears?
no, we're going to keep it as air, just because that's what's in the plane, and getting the electric version for that plane is nothing is impossible, but it's almost impossible. Ah. So the company that used to convert those gear into electric, they're no longer in business. So yeah, that's also getting the single battery set up. Ooh, oh no, it's not,
going to fall out of the air.
Sky. Just like the other Super Bandit we did. So yeah, so that's the next project. To give you guys kind of a rundown of what's going on, we've got the Super Bandit, then the Glacial F3A plane. We do have, I don't know if I've shown anybody this. We've got a helicopter sitting here as well. So scale helicopter, this is for one of our customers, and we've got all the parts for it as well. So that'll be coming up as well. So chances are this and that will be popping up soon.
You pop up those.
There's like so much electric stuff coming up. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. And after that, we've got lots of stuff. But we've got to do the A10 back there. We are repainting the A10 to be the Black Snake version.
That'd be a good little video, just to,
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's some people out there that like to see stripping out and redoing it.
Yeah.
A paint job. Give them a thumbs up if you want to do that.
No.
Let them know in the comments.
Your thumbs up doesn't do anything for me. I may do it, I may not. I don't know. We'll see. So, and then all of our big projects are probably starting to show up in like December and then the new year. They're all kind of pushed out a little bit. The next, probably the first big project to show up is going to be the F-15 from Skymaster. I believe it is shipping probably the end of this month. So that means it's going to be 30 days on the water and then a couple weeks to get to me. So that's probably mid-December-ish for the F-15 from Skymaster. The F-100 from CARF. Sorry, I got a burp. Probably will show up in December sometime. We've also got My Rebel Hot coming in December, and a Rebel Classic coming in December, probably on the same shipment. So hopefully all three of those show up at the same time. The F4 from CARF will be late, the latter part of early 2025. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
What's that?
It'll be in like the beginning part of 2025, but it'll be later in the beginning part.
Well, first of January is the beginning, and
Yeah,
then
it's
January,
probably-
February, maybe March.
The big F4 is probably January, February, March, April, maybe May. I don't know. So it may not be ready for Montana jets.
Yeah.
And what else? Oh, the Skymaster Su-30. That'll probably be here early 2025 as well.
And Dave asked for what's your interest in the new Jetty 24? He said you missed the rear sliders.
Yeah, good question, Dave. I'll actually have probably my DS24 showing up probably, I'm hoping like November-ish. So
I put it up for you. Constantly
I can't
adjusting
be
it.
looking up my nose.
No, I had it for your top of your
I
head.
was watching there. yeah, there's lots to do before the F-15 shows up. So, hey, Kelly. So yeah, hopefully my DS-24 is going to be here in November. That's what I'm hoping. Obviously, I've got one coming if one's coming here, and it is different. I think I might miss the rear sliders, but I don't think I will. The only thing that I use the rear sliders for is I've been using that as our buddy box switch. So when I'm flying with somebody and I give them control, it's this way. And then when I take control, it's that. So that's the only thing that I have been using that for. I can obviously figure something else. So maybe I'll miss that. I don't know. I like the feel of the new DS-24 G2, but also the screen quality is nice too. Incompatibility, that's a little bit of a catch-22 because the 900 receivers for this guy are older, right? The NG receivers are the newer generation receivers. So it kind of just makes sense that they would make it only compatible with the NG receivers. Unfortunately, if you've got a bunch of 900 receivers, that's the way it goes. But yeah, so I will have one coming. And yeah, so
Yeah.
just
Guys wants to know about Guys wants to know about servos. There's so many servos to choose from. What do you like? The high voltage only, the brushless only, careless?
Let's see here. So Nick, plenty to be going on then. Hopefully the F-15. Warwick, can you do a tour of your workshop in a future episode? Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Really good idea. Maybe we'll do that 2 weeks from today when we do the next live. So D. Kaiser, there are so many servos to choose from. How do you narrow it down? High voltage only, brushless only, coreless? Hey, Jerry. Good question. Really good question. We kind of have our normal setup that we use on most planes, but it really does always change. It's ever changing, and each plane is very specific. I can't necessarily show you a bunch of different planes because a lot of the planes that we worked on this year are all gone out of the shop. But our standard servos are going to be MKS 9930s, which is a coreless servo, and the MKS 599s, which is the brushless servo, the MKS 599 SLs, which are the brushless servo but smaller, and the MKS 1220, which is what we use as steering servos. Every servo in the Bronco is the 1220. So there's lots of different options. Bigger planes, we might use the 3850 series, which is an 8mm output shaft. So there's lots of options. How we generally go about it is I usually always put the best servo that kind of makes sense for the plane. Is kind of the way I think about it. You know, something like the Bronco as an example, we're using, just stay there, I'll be back in a sec. I'm just grabbing a servo so I can actually have physical things to show you. So in the Bronco, we're using the MKS 1220 high voltage servo. So this servo is everywhere on the plane. I think this retails for like $102 US. Is what I always talk about. So good quality servo, you know, fairly powerful. For that plane, it's perfect. You look at something like the brushless 599, that's like a $200 servo. And for a lot of planes like the Bronco, if you did this everywhere in the Bronco, this is going to be overkill, right? You've got, you know, an aerobatic scale plane that doesn't fly very fast. This is a ridiculous servo to put in that plane. Now, of course you could, but you're spending twice the amount of money on your servos, and that plane uses a few extra servos because it's got 4 flaps. So, but something like my BDX, this is the servo that's everywhere in the BDX, except the flaps. The flaps, we're using a 9930, which is a coreless servo. This is a brushless servo. And this is getting really fairly technical, but like on a flying stab, like an F4 as an example, or the Skymaster Hawk, the big Hawk, you've got two servos ganged up together. The downside to using a brushless servo in that situation, or like your flaps, is when these fail, they generally get stuck in that position. And if you want to take this servo after it's failed and like move it, you almost have to take pliers in some cases and reef on it with pliers. So if you have a flying stab or a paired up servo stab or a flap, and this fails in a weird position, on your stab, it's going to be very hard, almost impossible for that other servo to overpower this stuck servo. Or on your flaps, if your flaps were to fail in like half flat position, they're probably stuck there. They're not just going to dangle and go back to nothing. So there's quite a bit of thought put into it as far as what servos we put where. But yeah, and then we've got some servos that we brought back from Jet Power. I'll show you these guys here. So there's the Chaw Servo HV-710. So this servo, as an example, uses an 8mm output shaft right there. And this is comparable to like an MKS 3820. So very powerful servo. Obviously high voltage. Everything we use is high voltage. You know, this thing at 8.4 volts is 70 kilograms, 972 ounces. So very, very nice servo.
Okay. Okay. RC Flyer said, which jetty radio would you recommend for something like a 50 to 70 cc aerobatic or EDF jets?
That was RC Flyer 2000?
Yeah.
So the thing about that is if you buy a Jetty DS24, G1 or G2, and you buy a Jetty DS16, both of those radios have 24 functions. The DS16, the Jetty 16 radio is actually amazing. You're missing all of the stuff on the back of the radio, but you have 24 functions. Now I say functions because on the Jetty system, there's not ports. So it's not like Spectrum where you have, I don't even know how much my Spectrum, like I've got a Spectrum IX20, is it 20 channels, I guess? We'll just say it's 20 channels. I don't know what it is. But it's not like Spectrum where you've got your receiver and it's got 20 output ports and that's all you have. With Jetty, you could be using a Centrobox 400, which has 26 ports on it. And then you could have multiple expanders, which also have ports, like everything's assignable. So, you know, go with the 16. It's a great radio. You may never use 24 functions, but they're there if you ever want them. The 24 just has all of the things available in the radio. So all of the mixing and all of the different functions and everything. So,
Kelly, as you said, the new 24 feels nice. And you explained.
For sure.
The next question.
I don't know how much lighter the new 24 is, but when I first picked it up in Germany, it's substantially lighter, but it still feels solid. You know, when I pick up my Spectrum radio, it feels like a plastic toy. When I pick up this radio, it feels very heavy. The new 24 feels solid, but it's however much lighter, like let's say half a pound lighter. I don't know how much lighter it is, but that's a nice feeling with it. Everything else functionally is pretty much the same. The new gimbals are nice as well with the different adjustments, the external adjustments. So the new gimbals, obviously this isn't the new radio, but the new gimbals, there's a little ring around the outside here. You use a magnet and just pop that ring up, and you can do all your adjustments externally with your gimbals. So you just put your Allen keys in here, adjust the tension and everything without having to take the back of the radio off. Like you do now. If you want to adjust that stuff, you got to take the back of the radio off. So you know, you're really not gaining a lot with the new 24, but it's a nice radio. It's new. It's brought into the new era with its updated graphics on the screen, obviously Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all that connectivity stuff. So,
Dave asked if we were ever going to be using the fuel bladders.
I'm just looking at Kelly. I'd seen you flew the OV-10 in your color scheme and was the black pony. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Fuel bladders, we'll probably see some coming in for planes that are not staying in Canada. Obviously in Canada here, we're not approved for fuel bladders yet. I know there's people that are using them in Canada, and I don't have a problem with that, but we're not supposed to be using them. So.
And Kelly also asked if you've seen a difference in the Skymaster quality of planes.
Kelly, are you talking about older stuff to newer stuff, or are you talking about kind of current stuff to newer stuff?
Well, he says the question, as he words it, is, since you have been showing many Skymaster builds, have you noticed a quality change in the better? To the better?
Good. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, sorry.
So Skymaster really doesn't change much. Like, to give you an example, the scissor linkage on the normal size F-14, when the gear goes up, that scissor linkage compresses like this. When the gear comes down, that scissor linkage on the mains goes like that. The only thing stopping that scissor linkage from going too far is the air cylinder, which is too small. So Michael from Facebook, Michael Brown, he makes a scissor linkage with a stop on it. That's something that Skymaster has been told about, they know about, and it probably won't ever change. But I've seen certain quality changes that they've done over the past 7 years since I've really been building a fair number of Skymaster planes. You know, you go back 7 years ago to the past couple years, they've made quite a few changes, and those changes may sound so small, but they're actually quite huge. So when you used to get a Skymaster plane 7 years ago, every air cylinder has to come out. You'd lube every air cylinder, take all the little nipples off, put high sol around the nipples, thread them back in, or red Loctite. And Skymaster's doing all that stuff now. I've taken the new air cylinders apart, and they've pre-lubed all those new air cylinders, and that's only like a year old, maybe 2 years old. So they are definitely making changes, but they're not like huge, massive, substantial changes like the F-14 landing gear as an example. So they'll probably just keep that the same until the plane is expired or the molds are expired or whatever it is. So yes, they kind of always make good changes. You know, sometimes obviously with any manufacturer, some stuff slips through, but generally they do a really good job on their aircraft.
How about on the framing and on the wing and the wing builds?
They're pretty consistent with all that stuff, like the Skymaster glue joints and materials and everything. They're always it's always pretty much the same. Quality is always pretty good. Paint's always pretty good. Yeah, so.
Okay, let's see, we can go back.
Yes, Skymaster does watch my videos, which is good for everybody, for sure. So thank you, Victor.
Okay. Gotta go back here. You're conversing.
I know, I was kind of long-winded on some of that stuff, sorry.
That's fine. Okay. Kelly also asks about the Jetty 24, or the Jetty system.
Oh, while you're scrolling, one guy, the guy that was asking about the radio choice, yes, a Jetty DS-12 would work fine. You lose some of the functionality, but for an aerobatic plane, like 12 channels is plenty. So when we were in Montana Jets, I think one of the guys I was helping had a Jetty 12 channel, and it was totally fine. So.
And that person asked if you have ever used the 24 channels.
Oh yes, all the time. Quite a few planes, we could use 30 comfortably, and still, yeah, 30 would be good. There's quite a few planes. Obviously, the more complex planes, like the F-14s, use all 24 functions. The Su-30s use all 24 functions.
How about the Jetty 12s? Would they also work?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I just mentioned. Yeah, there's, when you get into those complex planes, like I think on the 14 and the SUs, we're always kind of thinking about how we can pair certain things up and make things work. It's not like we're just wide open, easy access to all the channels. So if we had 30, that would be great because we would probably use all 30.
That's pretty well covered.
Awesome.
A lot of the questions. That's bladders. Okay. That's the Skymaster ideas. Ed Sir flew OV-10.
At Senior, yeah.
Your comment. Yeah.
Yeah, for you guys that aren't on Facebook, I've got a BDX coming for myself, a BDX S, which is the smaller version. If you've been watching if you've been watching my videos and stuff I post on Facebook, I've been, when I go down to California, I've been flying the Voodoo BDXS, which was actually owned by David, and we've made a trade, and I'll have that coming up here at some point in November when the other planes are brought down there. So that's one of my new planes for the 2025 fleet for myself, and that was built by Danny at AeroPanda. And as I commented on Facebook, it's not often I would get a second-hand plane and not do anything to it. So that's I don't think Danny's ever on my lives, but yeah. And I've flown that plane a bunch since over the past year. So.
Well, Nick disappointingly bought a Spectrum mainly because it's here in New Zealand.
Oh,
oh well, that's okay. Exchange rates is too much. We understand, Nick.
Tricky Ricky, I've quit wearing my apron. Actually, you know what? I've been enjoying the freedom. I actually don't like wearing it during the summer because it's really hot. And now that I'm getting into winter, I'll probably wear it again. But yeah, I've actually been kind of enjoying the freedom. I've got a second trusty bent screwdriver in my toolbox now. So yeah, I still wear it, but not very often lately. But it'll probably come back in.
Once winter gets here, I think that's help keep us warm.
I had my hoodie on today this morning because it was kind of chilly in here, even though it's heated in here, but still it's cold.
Okay, where is it here? Have you done more work on your plane trailer since you released that video a while back?
Man, that was a long time ago now.
Oh yeah.
That was when I first started YouTube, actually, shortly after, I think.
We haven't done really much improvements to it.
Well, it's been, I can't remember how I finished that video series off, but I can show you guys the trailer if you want to see it. Hopefully I don't lose Wi-Fi out there, but the trailer is open, so it's easy to show you. So use it as kind of storage, but maybe just keep that door open for me, and then hopefully we don't lose Wi-Fi.
Okay.
No, just this door here. So this is the trailer. I mean, it's all painted. Hey, Daz from Dubai. It's all painted white. I can't remember if that's how I finished it in the video series, but yeah, I like it because it's modular, right? So basically 2 big shelves. We can kind of put planes in and out of here however we want. I've got my Milwaukee boxes up there, and so all my Milwaukee boxes that carry all my parts, they go there and right there. Yeah, so that's pretty much the trailer. Usually I stack my wings up right there, planes kind of wherever they fit, workbench on the front, vise. I don't think I put the vise in there in the video series. This has been a nice thing to have in here. I actually don't have one in the shop. I took it out of my shop and put it in here because it's nicer to have it in here, and then I can still use it if I need it. But yeah, so that's pretty much the trailer, toolboxes, all that kind of stuff, all my straps, and usually all this stuff is in there, but this time of year, if I go flying, I just take all this and I don't take my trailer with me. So yeah, that's the trailer. It's modular. It works.
When we're going to travel, that's when we spend the day just getting it ready.
Yeah. All right. Sheldon, love my BDXS. Yes, they are very nice. Sheldon, have you flown one of the big ones yet? I don't think you have. The little one's nice, but the big one, I tell you, it's next level. I mean, I like flying the little one too, but it doesn't handle like the big one, that's for sure. So Daz from Dubai, crazy, man. So RC Flyer, I'm hoping to be up there at Montana Jets. Cool, cool. Yes, I'm an NHL fan. I actually just went to one of the preseason Flames games. When was that? Maybe 2 weeks ago, I think. We had tickets to the Flames game. So yes, I do like watching hockey. I'm not like a crazy fanatic where I'm studying stats and everything, but I do enjoy watching a good game of hockey. So, good question. When would you choose a Central Box 220 versus a 320 with overload protection? That's a really good question.
I was going to ask that one, but the thing disappeared off the screen.
That's okay. Good question. So the question is, for any non-Jetty fans, when would you choose a 220 over a 320? So there's kind of 3 different levels of Jetty power hubs, if you want to call them that. I'm going to grab a 200 series. I'll be back. So just stare at the beautiful boomerang and stuff. Can still talk. But I just want to have one in my hand so I can actually show you what the difference is. We've got a 200 series here. And I think I've got a 400 floating around as well. Maybe we'll pull one of the 400s out so we've got some visual representations of what we're talking about for the people that are not.
Somebody wants to know about that jet that's under that Elite Sports jet.
Oh, the Boomerang Lancer.
Red, white, and green. They got
It's pink. It's pink. It's not red. It looks red in the camera, but it's like fluorescent pink. All right, so this isn't going to be a great representation for the question, but it'll be a representation for the question. So we've got a Jetty Central Box. This is the 220 series. This is the one that's protected. This is a brand new one in the package. But so we've got that one. And then we've also got a 400 here as well. So this is the 400. And then there is one in between, which is called the 300 series, which comes in a 310 or a 320, which is just like this guy right here. The 200 comes in a 210 or 220 series. The 20s are protected.
the advantage.
So for most sports jets, like my BDX, like a Rebel Pro, like
Lancer.
No, not the Lancer, too small. Anything where we're using like 3 batteries in. So like a 2.6 meter sports jet, basically. This is what we would go with, the Central Box 200 series. The way this works is power in is power out. So if you put a 2-cell LiPo in this in Central Box, and well, 2 2-cell LiPos, whatever voltage is coming in is the voltage that's going out. So that voltage is going to be 8.4 when you're freshly charged, and it's going to go down to 7.8 after a flight or 2. So for most planes, that works perfect, and it works great. Just imagine that this was the 300 series. It's looking pretty much the same, doesn't have these Beck outputs, but it's kind of got the same layout. So with the 400s and 300 series, you can put 6 to 17 volts in there. So you could put a 4-cell LiPo in here if you want, but let's not explain it that way. So our larger scale planes, we would generally use a 300 series or the 400 series. The 300 series is actually newer technology than the 400 series. So this is sort of antiquated, but very applicable for a lot of applications because these BEC outputs are very handy. But all of these guys, the 400 and 300 series, the benefits are you can put a 3-cell LiPo in here and you can regulate it down to 8.4 volts, 8 volts, 7.2 volts, whatever you want to do. And your servos or your electronics are always getting 8.4 volts. Benefits of that is it's consistent, right? You know, you look at some servo specs with this guy, you know, you start off at 8.4 volts and you're getting 900 ounces of torque. And at 7.8 volts or 8 volts, maybe you're getting 700 ounces of torque. So you've lost whatever, 15, 20, 25% of your torque on your servos as your battery voltage drops. The other benefit to the 300 series is it makes for a simple installation. So the F4 that we just finished up, that had Central Box 400 in it. The battery layout on that airplane was 4 identical 3-cell LiPo batteries. So 4 batteries, all the same. They can all plug in wherever you plug them in. There's no organization to them. And your servos are always getting good voltage. And that's kind of the only reason we would do that. And in a scale plane, larger scale planes, in my opinion, it's a benefit. With the Central Box 400, there's 24 ports on this. With the 300 series, I think there's like 20, 18, something like that. But it doesn't really mean anything because there's always ways to add more ports to even this guy here. You know, the Bronco, we added an expander to this, and that added 6 more ports on the expander. So there's lots of ways to do things. But hopefully that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to slide back some.
All right. Sheldon, I have not flown the big one yet. Try one if somebody's got one close to you, if they'll let you take the sticks on it. It's crazy, man. Next level crazy. Yes, I couldn't imagine not having my trailer. There's lots of times where I don't like pulling it all the time, but when you go to an event and you want to have your shop with you, it's very handy. So Warwick, that plane right there is the Boomerang Lancer. That is hot pink, like fluorescent pink. And this is like, it's almost like, what's that company that does jewelry and stuff? Tiffany. It's almost like Tiffany blue is what the actual color in person is. But I know the red or pink shows up very red on the camera, and it's not realistic. So, 5 a.m. and we're about to arrive at the field and fly. Crazy. Awesome. Huge Minnesota Wild fan from, cool. Awesome. Well, I think that's, we're at the hour mark, guys. So if you have any final questions, now is the time to ask. And it's been a long time again since we did a live, so it's nice to pop on back here and visit with you guys as well.
We covered a lot this time.
We did.
Yes, we usually don't get that much.
Yeah.
You don't talk in that much.
Nope, it was good. So lots covered. Cool. Well, we'll wrap up there. Again, with the Bronco build, 3 videos from now. So not this coming Wednesday, the Wednesday after. Keep an eye out for the fuel jug giveaway. Good question, Sheldon. What is teal blue? Yes. What's your opinion on keeping jets in a cold garage? I don't think it really hurts them at all. I think if you're in like a cold garage in a very humid climate, that might be a bad thing. We're very dry here, so I know there's a few guys around me that store their planes in their trailers year-round, so when it's hot out and cool out. I don't like to do that, but I don't think it's a problem having them in the cool weather, and as long as you let them warm up for a while before you ever turn them on.
Well, when I talked to when I was in BC, there talking to a couple of guys with trailers with planes, they had cups in there that absorb moisture.
Yeah.
from the air because it said it'll just get right into the planes and next
Yeah.
thing you know, take planes up and it's just going to disappear in the sky. So
Arnold said, need to stop watching, went from a pure sailplane guy to now an EDF guy. Nice! You're one step closer to having something that burns dino juice. Well done. Well done. Awesome, guys. Well, we're going to end it there. That's the 1 hour mark. Thank you for tuning in. It's always fun tuning into the lives. I love conversing with you guys. And thanks for supporting the channel and watching. We've got lots of cool content coming up, lots of cool planes and projects. We haven't added much of them to the board, but yeah, lots of cool projects coming up. So thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next live.